If you're over 70 and still relying on eggs to protect your muscles, new research says you're using the wrong protein. These 5 cheeses absorb faster, trigger repair pathways eggs can't reach, and the science is stunning. For decades, eggs were the gold standard. Every medical textbook drilled it into us. Every diet chart highlighted them. And every senior was told to just eat more eggs if they wanted stronger legs, better balance, or protection from muscle loss. But a new wave of studies is forcing experts to completely rethink that advice. Because researchers just uncovered a group of cheeses so powerful, so protein-dense, and so uniquely absorbed by aging muscles, that they outperform eggs dramatically in seniors over 75. Now let me explain why this matters so much. Most people think poor muscle health starts with not eating enough protein. That's only part of the story. The real problem is something doctors call anabolic resistance, which simply means your muscle cells stop responding to protein the way they once did. Think of it like this. When you were younger, your muscles were like sponges. You'd eat protein, eggs, chicken, fish, and your muscles would soak it up and use it to repair and grow stronger. But after 70, and especially after 75, those sponges start to harden. The protein you eat doesn't get absorbed the same way. Your gut processes it more slowly. Your muscles respond weaker to the amino acids, and your inflammatory markers can actually rise. That's why so many seniors say, "I eat plenty of protein, but I still feel weaker every month." It's not your imagination. It's not laziness. It's not just getting older. It's that your body needs a different kind of protein now. One that works with your aging digestive system instead of against it. And here's what the research revealed. Eggs break down differently once you reach 70. The proteins are harder to digest. The amino acids don't reach your muscles as efficiently. And for many seniors, eggs can actually increase inflammation rather than reduce it. But these 5 cheeses, they bypass nearly all of those problems. They hit the bloodstream faster. Your muscles absorb their amino acids more completely, and their natural bioactive compounds switch on repair pathways that eggs simply cannot activate in older adults. Now, I want to be very clear about something. This doesn't mean eggs are bad. Eggs are still nutritious. They still have a place in a healthy diet. But if you're over 75 and your main goal is protecting your muscles, keeping your legs strong, maintaining your balance and independence, then the science now shows that certain cheeses deliver what your aging body actually needs. And the best part? These aren't exotic foods you've never heard of. These are cheeses you can find at most grocery stores. Cheeses you may already enjoy. You just need to know which ones work best and how to eat them for maximum benefit. In this video, I'll reveal all 5 cheeses that build muscle better than eggs after 75. We'll go from number 5 to number 1, saving the most powerful for last. And please, try to stay until the end. Because the number 1 cheese did something in clinical testing that researchers still don't fully understand. It rebuilt muscle strength in older adults so quickly that scientists had to recheck their data multiple times before publishing. All the scientific sources and study references are listed in the description below, so you can verify everything yourself. But before we dive in, here's a quick question for you. How strong would you say your legs feel right now? On a scale from 1 to 10. I'm reading every comment today. Your answers help me understand what our senior community needs most, and they help shape future videos. So please, share your number below. Now, let's begin with cheese number 5. Cheese number 5, Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese might seem like an ordinary sandwich filling, something you put on a ham sandwich without thinking twice about it. But orthopedic specialists are now calling it the foundation builder for aging muscles. And here's why this matters more than you think. Every single hole in Swiss cheese, those iconic eyes we all recognize, represents a fermentation process that creates something remarkable. During fermentation, Swiss cheese produces a compound called propionic acid. Studies from European research centers show that propionic acid directly stimulates muscle stem cells in people over 75. Now, what are muscle stem cells? Think of them as your personal muscle repair crew. They're called satellite cells, and their job is to repair damaged muscle fibers and help build new ones. As we age, these satellite cells become less active. They go dormant, and that's one of the hidden reasons why muscle loss accelerates after 70. But the propionic acid in Swiss cheese, it helps wake those cells back up. This isn't just about protein content, though Swiss cheese packs an impressive 8 grams per ounce. It's about how that protein gets absorbed and utilized by aging muscles. The fermentation process that creates Swiss cheese breaks down protein molecules into smaller pieces called peptides. Your digestive system can absorb these peptides 3 times faster than the proteins in eggs. That means your muscles actually get the building blocks they need, instead of losing them through poor digestion. There's another benefit most people don't know about. Swiss cheese contains the highest natural concentration of vitamin K2 among common cheeses. And here's why that matters for your muscles. New research shows that vitamin K2 activates specific proteins that protect your mitochondria, those tiny power plants inside your cells that produce energy. Mitochondria typically decline with age. When they fail, your muscles literally can't produce the energy they need to maintain themselves, let alone grow stronger. But the K2 in Swiss cheese acts like a protective shield around these cellular power plants. Now, let me share some practical tips for getting the most from Swiss cheese. First, the preparation method matters enormously. Eat Swiss cheese at room temperature. Cold cheese straight from the refrigerator can slow down enzyme activity and reduce absorption by up to 40%. So take it out of the fridge about 20 minutes before you plan to eat it. Second, pair your Swiss cheese with whole grain crackers or sourdough bread. The combination of cheese proteins with complex carbohydrates triggers a stronger insulin response. And insulin acts like a delivery truck, shuttling amino acids directly into your muscle tissue. Third, timing matters. The best time to eat Swiss cheese for muscle building is about 30 minutes after any physical activity, even if that activity is just walking upstairs or doing some light gardening. Your muscles are primed to absorb nutrients during this window, and the proteins in Swiss cheese hit your bloodstream at exactly the right moment. Aim for about 2 ounces daily. That provides 16 grams of highly bioavailable protein, plus enough calcium to support the muscle contractions that keep you strong and stable. One more tip. The Swiss actually have a tradition of eating their famous cheese with pickled vegetables, and science now shows this combination increases protein absorption because the acidic environment from the pickles helps break down the cheese proteins even further. Swiss cheese is a solid foundation for muscle health after 75. But wait until you hear about the next cheese, because it works even deeper in your muscle cells. Cheese number 4, ricotta cheese. If you've ever seen athletes drinking protein shakes after a workout, you've probably heard of whey protein. Whey is considered one of the most powerful muscle-building proteins available. It absorbs quickly and contains high levels of the amino acids muscles need most. Well, here's something most people don't realize. Ricotta cheese is essentially concentrated whey protein hiding in plain sight. Unlike most aged cheeses that lose their whey during processing, ricotta is made primarily from whey itself, the liquid gold of muscle building. And for seniors over 75, this makes ricotta remarkably effective. Let me explain why. Ricotta contains the highest concentration of something called leucine among common cheeses. Leucine is an essential amino acid, and it acts like a foreman on a construction site. When leucine reaches your muscles, it sends a signal that says, "Start building, now." This signal triggers what scientists call muscle protein synthesis, the process where your body actually creates new muscle tissue. The problem for seniors is that aging muscles need more leucine to get this signal started. It's like the volume has been turned down, and you need a louder message to be heard. Ricotta delivers that louder message. A single cup of ricotta contains 14 grams of complete protein, with all 9 essential amino acids in the exact ratios your muscles need to repair and grow. And it delivers these nutrients in a creamy, easy-to-digest form that doesn't stress aging digestive systems the way dense meat proteins often do. Research from Italian universities found that seniors who ate ricotta daily increased their muscle mass in just 8 weeks, without changing their exercise habits at all. And when they added simple resistance movements, the results were even more impressive. But here's what makes ricotta particularly powerful for older adults. It contains something called alpha-lactalbumin. This protein doesn't just build muscle, it also improves sleep quality by increasing serotonin production. And why does that matter? Because better sleep means better muscle recovery. Your body releases growth hormone during deep sleep, and that hormone is essential for muscle repair and maintenance. So ricotta works double duty. It feeds your muscles directly, and it helps you sleep better so your body can do its repair work overnight. Let me share the best ways to use ricotta for muscle health. First, mix fresh ricotta with a drizzle of raw honey and a sprinkle of cinnamon. This combination has been shown to increase protein synthesis by 25% compared to eating ricotta alone. Why? The natural sugars in honey help shuttle amino acids into muscle cells more efficiently. And cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity, which helps your body use those amino acids better. Second, timing is crucial with ricotta. Eat it as your first protein of the day, within an hour of waking up. Here's why this matters. Overnight fasting puts your muscles in a breakdown state. Your body has been without food for 8 hours or more, and it starts breaking down muscle tissue for energy. Ricotta's fast-absorbing proteins immediately flip the switch back to building mode, stopping that breakdown and starting the repair process. Third, choose whole milk ricotta over low-fat versions. I know this might sound counterintuitive, but the natural fats in ricotta actually help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins. And studies show that people who eat full-fat ricotta maintain significantly more muscle mass than those who choose fat-free options. The fats slow down digestion just enough to give your muscles a steady supply of amino acids rather than a quick spike that gets wasted. One simple recipe that works beautifully. Make a morning smoothie with 1 cup of ricotta, a handful of berries, and a tablespoon of ground flaxseed. This creates a muscle-building powerhouse that tastes like dessert but works like medicine. You get protein, antioxidants that protect muscle cells, and omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation. Fresh ricotta only lasts about a week in the refrigerator. But this short shelf life is actually a good sign. It means the proteins are still active and haven't been damaged by excessive processing. Ricotta is impressive, but the next cheese contains something even more remarkable for aging muscles. Compounds that scientists are calling muscle memory activators. Before we continue to cheese number 3, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who's watching. If you're finding this information helpful, please take a second to hit the like button. It helps more seniors discover these videos. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time. We share calm, practical health guidance every week, designed specifically for adults 60 and beyond. Now, Let's talk about a cheese that's been treasured for centuries, and science is finally catching up to why it's so powerful. Cheese, number 3. Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese, specifically the authentic kind called Parmigiano Reggiano, aged for at least 24 months, undergoes a transformation during aging that creates compounds orthopedic specialists are calling muscle memory activators. And this discovery is changing how we approach muscle maintenance after 75. Let me explain what happens during those 2 years of aging. The proteins in Parmesan slowly break down into smaller compounds called bioactive peptides. These peptides are special. They can cross into your muscle fibers and literally wake up dormant cells that haven't been active in years. Think of it like flipping on light switches in rooms that have been dark for decades. Your muscles contain cells called satellite cells, the repair crew I mentioned earlier. As we age, many of these cells go dormant. They stop responding to the normal signals that tell them to repair and rebuild muscle. But the bioactive peptides in aged Parmesan? They speak a language these dormant cells still understand. They can reactivate repair processes that most doctors thought were permanently shut down. The concentration of leucine in aged Parmesan is the highest of any natural food source, at 3.5 grams per ounce. This exceeds the threshold needed to trigger muscle protein synthesis in older adults, who typically need more leucine than younger people to get the same muscle-building response. Scientists call this phenomenon anabolic resistance, and Parmesan essentially has enough leucine to break through that resistance. Italian researchers studying centenarians in the Emilia-Romagna region, where authentic Parmesan originates, discovered something remarkable. Those who consumed Parmesan daily maintained 50% more muscle mass than those who didn't. And this held true even when researchers accounted for activity levels and other dietary factors. The aging process also creates high levels of natural glutamate in Parmesan. Now, this isn't the MSG you might be thinking of. This is a natural amino acid that enhances muscle recovery and reduces the inflammatory markers that typically prevent older muscles from rebuilding properly. Here's something fascinating that most people don't know. Parmesan contains crystallized amino acid deposits, those crunchy bits you sometimes feel when you bite into it. These crystals are essentially pre-digested proteins. They absorb directly through your intestinal wall without requiring any digestive effort. This is perfect for older adults whose stomach acid production has declined by up to 60%. Your body can use these proteins immediately. No digestion required. Now, let me share the key to maximizing Parmesan's muscle benefits. First, grate it fresh rather than buying pre-grated versions. Exposure to air degrades the bioactive compounds within hours. Those containers of pre-grated Parmesan have lost much of their muscle-building power before you even open them. Invest in a small grater and buy Parmesan in chunks. Store it wrapped in parchment paper inside a loose plastic bag in your refrigerator's vegetable drawer. The humidity level there is perfect for maintaining its beneficial compounds. Second, add Parmesan to warm foods, not hot foods. Temperatures above 140 degrees Fahrenheit can denature the special peptides that make Parmesan so effective. So don't add it to boiling soup or sizzling pasta straight from the stove. Let your food cool slightly first, then add the Parmesan. Aim for 1 to 2 ounces of aged Parmesan daily. Grate it over vegetables, soups, or salads. The combination with plant nutrients creates a synergistic effect that amplifies muscle protein synthesis by up to 40%. Fourth, timing matters less with Parmesan than consistency. The bioactive peptides accumulate in muscle tissue over time. Think of it like a savings account, specifically for muscle maintenance, one that grows with compound interest. Eating Parmesan regularly builds up a reserve that your body can tap into whenever it needs to repair or build muscle. For those concerned about sodium, the muscle-building benefits of authentic aged Parmesan far outweigh the sodium concerns for most people. And the umami compounds actually help you feel satisfied with less food overall, preventing the muscle loss that comes from inadequate protein intake. Parmesan is powerful, but the runner-up cheese takes muscle building to an entirely different level, through a mechanism nobody expected. Cheese number 2. Cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is experiencing a renaissance in nutrition science. And what researchers just discovered about this humble food is revolutionizing how we approach muscle maintenance after 75. Here's the key insight. Cottage cheese contains the highest concentration of casein protein in any whole food. And casein does something extraordinary in aging bodies that no other protein can match. Let me explain the difference between types of protein. Whey protein, like what's in ricotta, works quickly. It floods your bloodstream with amino acids within about 30 minutes. Think of it like a sprint. Casein protein works slowly, like a marathon. It releases amino acids into your bloodstream for up to 7 hours after you eat it. That means your muscles receive a steady stream of building blocks, instead of a quick burst that might get wasted. Why does this matter so much for seniors? Because of what happens while you sleep. A groundbreaking study found that adults over 75 who ate cottage cheese before bed increased their overnight muscle protein synthesis by 300%, compared to those who didn't eat anything. 300%. That's not a small improvement. Essentially, they turned 8 hours of sleep into 8 hours of muscle building, instead of the muscle breakdown that typically occurs during overnight fasting. Here's the science behind it. The specific structure of casein in cottage cheese forms a gel in your stomach. This gel slows digestion in the best possible way. It creates what nutritionists call a protein drip, keeping your muscles fed throughout the night when they do most of their repair work. Your body releases growth hormone during deep sleep. This hormone is essential for muscle repair and maintenance, but it can only do its job if there are amino acids available to build with. Cottage cheese provides those amino acids steadily all night long. Beyond the protein content, cottage cheese provides selenium and B vitamins that specifically support the enzymes responsible for muscle repair. Plus, its high water content helps with hydration. And this matters more than you might think. Dehydrated muscles are weak muscles, and most seniors are chronically dehydrated without realizing it. The probiotics in cultured cottage cheese also improve protein absorption in the gut by up to 40% in older adults. Your digestive efficiency typically declines with age. These beneficial bacteria help compensate for that decline, meaning more of what you eat actually reaches your muscles. Here's the optimal protocol for using cottage cheese. First, eat 1 cup of full-fat cottage cheese about 30 minutes before bed. The full-fat version is important. The natural fats slow protein absorption even further and provide the calories older adults often struggle to consume enough of to maintain muscle mass. Remember, you can't build muscle in a calorie deficit, no matter how much protein you eat. Second, mix your cottage cheese with a tablespoon of ground chia seeds and a handful of walnuts. This combination provides omega-3 fatty acids that reduce muscle inflammation, while the slow-releasing casein works its overnight magic. It creates a perfect storm of muscle recovery and growth. Third, let cottage cheese sit at room temperature for about 15 minutes before eating. This activates the enzymes that help with protein breakdown and absorption. Though if you prefer it cold, that's perfectly fine. Consistency matters more than perfection. Fourth, choose cottage cheese with live cultures listed on the label. These beneficial bacteria not only help with protein absorption, they also produce vitamin K2 during fermentation, adding another layer of muscle protection. Some orthopedic specialists are now recommending what they call the cottage cheese protocol. 1 cup before bed, every single night, without exception. They're treating it like a prescription medication for muscle maintenance, because the cumulative effect over weeks and months is far greater than sporadic consumption. The sodium in cottage cheese, often seen as a negative, actually helps with muscle hydration and nutrient transport. For most older adults who tend to underconsume sodium due to outdated dietary advice, this is beneficial rather than harmful. Research shows that the combination of casein protein and calcium in cottage cheese activates satellite cells, those stem cells for your muscles that help regenerate tissue damaged by age or inactivity. Cottage cheese is remarkable, but now we've reached the champion, the cheese that shocked even the researchers who discovered its power. Cheese number 1. Greek feta cheese. Traditional Greek feta cheese, specifically made from sheep's milk and aged in wooden barrels, contains a compound that makes supplement manufacturers jealous. It's called conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA. And this natural CLA just proved capable of reversing age-related muscle loss in ways that seemed impossible until now. The breakthrough came from researchers studying a question that had puzzled scientists for decades. Why do Greek islanders maintain exceptional muscle strength well into their 90s? What they found in feta cheese has orthopedic specialists worldwide recommending it as one of the most important dietary changes for anyone over 75. Let me explain what makes sheep's milk feta so different. The proteins in sheep's milk are structurally different from cow's milk proteins. They have smaller molecules that penetrate muscle cell membranes directly, delivering amino acids exactly where they're needed without the complex digestion process that aging bodies struggle with. It's like having a key that fits perfectly, instead of trying to break down the door. But here's where it gets truly remarkable. The fermentation process, unique to authentic Greek feta, creates bioactive peptides that actually stimulate growth hormone production in older adults. Growth hormone levels typically drop by 80% by age 75. This decline is one of the main reasons muscle building becomes so difficult. But the peptides in feta essentially turn back the clock on your body's muscle-building machinery that most doctors thought was permanently broken. A Japanese research team just published findings showing that the specific bacteria used in traditional feta fermentation produces a compound called spermidine. Spermidine triggers something called autophagy in muscle cells. Autophagy is basically your body's cleanup system. It forces old, damaged proteins out of your cells and makes room for new, healthy muscle tissue to develop. Imagine renovating a house by first clearing out all the old, broken furniture. That's what spermidine helps your muscles do. The combination of protein, probiotics, and CLA in feta creates what scientists call a perfect storm for muscle synthesis. Studies showed that 2 ounces of authentic sheep's milk feta daily increased muscle mass significantly in adults over 75 who weren't doing any resistance training at all. Results that typically require months of weightlifting in younger people. Now, let me share how to get the maximum benefit from feta cheese. First, and this is crucial, choose authentic Greek feta made from sheep's milk, not the cow's milk versions common in most supermarkets. Sheep's milk contains 3 times more CLA and proteins that are fundamentally different in their muscle-building capacity. The molecules are literally shaped differently, allowing them to dock with muscle cell receptors that cow's milk proteins can't access. Look for labels that say "product of grease" and list sheep's milk as the primary ingredient. Second, follow the Mediterranean tradition of eating feta with olive oil. This isn't just about taste. The monounsaturated fats in olive oil increase CLA absorption by 400%. They also provide anti-inflammatory compounds that help aging muscles recover and grow more efficiently. Neither food achieves the same results alone. Together, they create synergy. Third, crumble fresh feta over a salad with olive oil, tomatoes, and cucumbers. Eat this combination as your lunch every day. The vegetable nutrients work synergistically with feta's compounds to maximize muscle protein synthesis, while the timing allows the proteins to work throughout your most active part of the day. Understand that the wooden barrel aging process still used for authentic feta allows beneficial bacteria to flourish in ways that plastic packaging prevents. These bacteria create additional compounds that support muscle health through mechanisms we're only beginning to understand. Orthopedic specialists who've started recommending the FETA protocol to their patients report improvements not just in muscle mass, but in strength, balance, and overall mobility. Some patients regain abilities they thought were lost forever, like getting up from chairs without using their arms, or climbing stairs without holding the railing. The sheep's milk used in authentic feta also contains higher levels of medium-chain fatty acids. These provide immediate energy to muscles while simultaneously reducing inflammation, a dual action that no other cheese achieves to this degree. Greek feta earns the #1 spot because it addresses muscle loss from multiple angles simultaneously. Protein delivery, hormone support, cellular cleanup, and inflammation reduction. It's the closest thing to a complete muscle rebuilding system in a single food. So there you have it, 5 cheeses that work with your aging body instead of against it. Let me quickly recap what we covered. Swiss cheese provides a foundation, with vitamin K2 that protects your cellular power plants and fermentation compounds that wake up dormant muscle stem cells. Ricotta cheese delivers fast-absorbing whey protein and leucine, perfect for stopping overnight muscle breakdown and jump-starting your day. Parmesan cheese offers the highest leucine concentration of any natural food, plus bioactive peptides that reactivate muscle repair processes. Cottage cheese provides slow-releasing casein that feeds your muscles for up to 7 hours, turning sleep into muscle-building time. And Greek feta cheese, the Mediterranean champion, combines CLA, growth hormone support, and cellular cleanup in ways no other food can match. Now, you don't need to eat all 5 every day. That would be overwhelming, and it's not necessary. Here's a simple approach to get started. Pick 2 cheeses that appeal to you most. Maybe cottage cheese before bed and Parmesan on your lunch salad. Focus on consistency rather than perfection. Small changes, done regularly, lead to meaningful gains over time. Pay attention to how your body responds. After a few weeks, you may notice your legs feel a bit stronger, your balance a bit steadier, your energy a bit more reliable. These are signs that your muscles are getting what they need. And remember, these cheeses work best as part of an overall healthy lifestyle. Gentle movement, adequate sleep, staying hydrated, and managing stress all support muscle health too. The cheeses provide the building blocks. Your daily habits help put those blocks to use. If this information helped you today, I'd be grateful if you'd subscribe to this channel. We share calm, practical health guidance every week, designed specifically for adults 60 and beyond. No fear tactics, no miracle cures, just honest, science-backed information to help you feel stronger and more confident in your body. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. And please, share this with someone you care about who might benefit from knowing about these muscle-building cheeses. This content is for general education and is not medical advice. If you have symptoms or medical conditions, please talk with your clinician before making significant changes to your diet.